I put some thought into it, and I thought, you know what? If I just take that E and I just move it over, we get Chateau World. And so I registered CHEATauWorld.com. The guy who sent me the money said, since you're willing to keep the website up and work on the website, the least we can do is get you your judgment. And I said, sure, okay, if you think you could do it. 2 weeks later, I had a bank draft in my mailbox for $5,000. I was not paid off. I received the judgment I was awarded. The way they did it, the guy explained, was one of the girls in the office went online, printed off everything I had ever posted to my website or anywhere else, took it into Andre Muran and said, look, if you don't pay her this ridiculous little sum of money, she's never going to stop. Poof, I had my money. That was not my doing. They did that for me. Thank you very much. And so then I had CHEATauWorld.com up for a year, and the time for it to lapse came, and it was only going to take $10 to renew it. And I thought, I'll renew it. Because then I was getting more emails from people, and I thought, okay, well, people, you know, they're looking for something. There's nothing else on the web. I'll keep it up. So a month later, I got an email from a guy named Raja who said, hi, I'd like to buy your URL. That domain name, CHEATauWorld.com, fabulous. And it's perfect for my business. You see, I want to start a website called CheatAonUniverse.com. No, CheatAonUniverseWorld.com. It makes no sense. And I thought, oh, Andre Muran wants me off the web again. And he said, please accept my offer of $500 for your URL. And I wrote him back an email, and I said, no, I'm sorry, I couldn't possibly take less than $5,000. And he said, oh, I don't have a lot of money. Please accept, would you take $3,000? And I wrote him back, and I said, no, I really couldn't take less than $5,000. I didn't hear from him again for another week or two, and I was in the process of revamping the website. So I emailed him. I said, Raja, hey, listen, if you're going to buy this URL, let me know. Because I'm in the middle of revamping this. I don't know if I'm going to bother putting it back up or what. He says, no, I'm not going to buy it. I can't afford $5,000. And I said, okay. And I put up the revamped website. And 2 days later, Raja emailed me again. I would like to give you $5,000 for your URL. And Andre Muran sent Raja from Edmonton down to Calgary to meet with my husband in a Tim Hortons and gave him another bank draft for $5,000. And I immediately registered CHEATauWorld.ca, CHEATauWorld.net, CHEATauWorld.org, CHEATauWorld.info, and I think CHEATauWorld.mobi. So no, I've not been paid off. I sold a URL for $5,000 to someone who apparently desperately wanted it. He can have the rest of my URLs for $5,000 a piece if he'd like them. 100,000? You know what? If we could get a couple million, we could set everybody up. 100,000, if we share 100,000, it's still not much. Yep. Who is into the Rockies? Okay. Okay, that's me. That's me. In of the Rockies, when Bill Buterman contacted me and said, we want you to set up somebody we want you to get everybody together to buy the resort, we had to establish a new board of directors in order to do that. I had to go through all the people who had been emailing me to find people I was sure were not involved with Andre Muran, to ask them if they would serve on that board. And these people stepped up and said, yeah, we'll do it. And they have worked tirelessly. They have been fantastic, phenomenal. Inn of the Rockies is what we intended to rename the Banff Gate. Yeah, but it's us. We're perfectly happy to negotiate. Bill Buterman will not negotiate. He has said he will not take a loss. He just stayed there last weekend. The place is a dump. Okay. Well, and we've... Mm-hmm. Well, and that was the plan. We were going to... It is. Yes. Well, for people who wanted their questions answered, there's that. But you're right. Yeah, no, things are off the table. We were going to be affiliated with RCI. Unless Bill Buterman comes around, it's gone, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to switch off with him. Independently of each other. I'm going to pass the mic over to Miles from Service Alberta and let him take some of your questions because we've got to get done in time for the 8 o'clock crew that are coming in. You guys are welcome to stay for the 8 o'clock. I'm going to pass it off to Miles. If he gets done in reasonable time, I'll come back and answer any other questions you have for me.